Did you guys know that American abolitionist and social activist Miss Harriet Tubman was said to have possessed very profound spiritual gifts? Harriet is famous for escaping slavery in 1849 at the age of 27 and later returning to complete 13 missions and freeing over 70 enslaved people using a network of safe houses known as the Underground Railroad. At the age of 13, Harriet was struck in the head by a 2-pound lead weight thrown by an overseer. This incident caused her to lose consciousness and left Harriet with a lifelong head injury. The impact from the 2-pound lead weight gave Harriet a depressed skull fracture, which led her to have episodes of extreme sleepiness, and she would fall asleep anywhere at any time. This condition is known as narcolepsy. Harriet often said that she would receive messages from God whenever she would fall into her sleeping spells. In addition to this, her religious fervor grew exponentially. Harriet also frequently spoke of having visions, in which she describes flying over familiar landscapes and later recognizing the terrain and being able to find her way to the north from them. In addition to this, Harriet knew how to read the stars. In fact, after she ran away from the plantation where she was being kept in 1849, Harriet traveled alone by night, and she used her knowledge of the stars to guide her. In 1850, Harriet returned for the first time to rescue her niece and her 2 children from Baltimore. Then in 1851, she rescued her brother and 2 others from their plantations. And by this time, everyone knew the name Harriet Tubman. Harriet also carried a pistol. The reasons are obvious. This was to protect the people whom she had rescued, but also to encourage them to continue if they seemed to be having a change of heart, very often threatening to shoot them if they didn't. This is understandable because she could not risk getting caught. During the Civil War, Harriet worked for the Union Army as a secret agent. She was the first woman in United States history to help plan and to participate in a military operation. This operation was known as the Combahee River Raid of South Carolina, which freed over 700 slaves. One of Harriet's most prized possessions was her gospel hymnal, which she used quite often due to her immense faith in God. This hymnal is currently on display at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. Next is a short clip of Harriet's great-great-grandniece, Miss Rita Daniels, briefly speaking about some of Harriet's amazing abilities.
She didn't have a formal education, but she was educated, very highly educated. From the standpoint, she knew the stars, she knew science, she knew technology because she would build things.
Harriet Tubman, a woman who showed great strength amidst hardships we can never imagine. An icon who can still teach us determination despite our own struggles.